And a round of applause for my mom. I told you many times, I get carried away, but my mom was a scientist. She didn't believe in God. She was a loyal Phi Beta Kappa graduate of Stanford University. She was an atheist, actually. One time she said, "Son, maybe something's out there, but I don't think so." The last stage of her life, when she had cancer, her whole philosophical concept of life just shattered. She's sitting on the porch in her rocking chair. She told my brother, "I'm scared of death. Will I continue to exist, or will I cease to be forever? I want to live forever." She said to my brother, "Go out in the garage. Your older brother, Brian, he sent that book 20 years ago, Bhagavad Gita. Get the Bhagavad Gita." So he got the Bhagavad Gita, and he took all the dirt and the grime from the garage, and he cleaned it up and gave it to my mom, and she used to read it. She died 6 months later. She used to read it, and she would have little, intelligent woman, the magic marker, yellow, green, blue, ask Brian this, and then she said, "Peter, I've been told your brother had a tape ministry in London." This is some years back. "Whatever is recorded, get me all those tapes." So there were like 200 tapes that arrived one day in a big box. My brother said, my mom, she would sit in the rocking chair reading Bhagavad Gita and then listening to a tape and then writing all these. I saw the notebook later, listen to the notes. And, I'm going to ask Brian one day like that. So then when she died, she was in my brother's arms. And he couldn't figure out what was going on because he wasn't a devotee yet. He became a devotee later. That's another story, chapter of the diary. But she called me on the phone from her deathbed. I was here in London in an apartment. She said, "Brian, take me to Vrindavan." "Mom, you've been she had a drinking habit. "Mom, you've been drinking again." "No, son, my last dying wish, take me to Vrindavan." "Mom, you're playing jokes with me." She used to chastise me when we'd had conversations, debates, and there was no one that won because she was very stubborn. "Mom, stop joking. I'll call you back at 6 o'clock in the morning." Hung up the phone. 6 o'clock, I called her. My brother answered the phone. "Peter Butter." "Peter, let me speak to Mom." "Let me speak to Mom." "She died." "She died? What happened?" "She had cancer. But she never told me. She didn't want to disturb your work." "What?" "She didn't want to disturb your work. She said it was so important." "What?" "Well, did she say anything before she died?" "Yes, she was in my arms. She looked up at me and she said, 'Son, don't lament for me. I'm not this body.'" The scientist. "I'm not this body." And he said, with her last breath, she said something really strange. She said, "I'm going to Krishna." She died. My mom. So I flew home for the wedding. Been to 3 weddings the last week. I flew home for the funeral. And I went to where the funeral home, the mortuary. And I was going to pay the bill for cremating her and spreading her ashes in the ocean. And I came up and I said, "Sir, I've came to make the payment." And he said, "Oh my Lord," he said, "I'm so sorry. We cremated your mother, but we forgot to put her ashes in the ocean, the Pacific Ocean." I said, "That's okay. Give me the ashes." He said, "You don't have to pay anything." "Oh, really?" "Give me the ashes." He gave me an ashes in a box, and with the $800 that I was going to use to pay for the cremation, I drove straight to the airport because I had a long-term visa. And I flew to India. I had no luggage. Came to Vrindavan, took a taxi out to Braj. It was the middle of summer, it was boiling hot. Put on a gamcha, waded into the middle of the Jamuna River, took that urn and poured it into the sacred Yamuna River. Mom, your last request is you wanted to come to Vrindavan. Here you are, eternally. So even our moms and dads, they gave us material birth. But out of respect for them, giving us the life that we have, well, we can also deliver them, if necessary, back home, back to Godhead. So that's the story of my mom. Got a little carried away there, as I always do.